All right, we are live with the Nordic quarterly news with the Nordic associations. With us, we have Teemu from Finland. We have Roger tuning in from Sweden. I think maybe via London or something like that. And then we have Daniel out of Norway. And my name is Michael Ambjorn. We're going to be spending about 29 minutes together today, and you're going to hear all the latest from across the Nordics. The premise is relatively straightforward. We want to share all the things that have happened just recently that are worth knowing about, and then we're going to take a look across the quarter ahead, and indeed probably the year ahead, to basically help you navigate all the changes, all the opportunities, and to an extent grasp some of the opportunities in the uncertainty of the life that we live in today. Getting straight to the point, though, I think I want to just quickly go around the table and get a quick reflection from each one of you, because we're all more or less fresh back from MIPIM. So, Daniel, you actually have a background as a journalist, so maybe you could give us the journalistic brief descriptor of what is MIPIM and why do Norwegians, Danes, Swedes, and Finns go there?
Well, Norwegians go there to have lunch and eat dinners and don't really go to the conference. I think we're singled out like that. We doesn't have a pavilion inside the conference. So we go down to those of us who do go inside the conference. There's actually a lot of great content. We get to hook up with our Nordic brethren in PropTech and see what's going on. And I think one observation is that, well, technology, PropTech used to be sort of these weird side stages. It's now invited onto the main stages where presidents and mayors talk about PropTech as a part of the solution for future cities.
That's right. There's actually quite a lot of leaders there. Draghi was there this year talking about basically competitiveness from the Danish part. There was at least one minister and one mayor, if not several. And in fact, we had the city architect of Aarhus, the second city in Denmark, or the city of Smiles, as it's also known, on stage alongside the CEO of Sweco and actually a British developer, British Canadian, Oxford Properties, actually ultimately owned by a Canadian pension fund, talking about global solutions. So that's some of the things there. Roger, there was also quite a lot going on in the Stockholm stand. Do you want to just briefly share the success there and give a bit of FOMO to maybe compel people to participate next year?
Yeah, thank you for that, Michael. Great to see so many of you joining in today. So yeah, one of the things I saw clearly was because last year they had innovation stage in a black room in the basement, right? So MIPIM have closed that down. And pushing the good solutions out in the field instead, in the room. So what we saw from Stockholm business region with Rethink was we took some of our PropTech companies, startups, but also some of the Candela with a hydrofoil boat, showing that kind of stuff. So I think just moving that into the cities, what we can do for a smarter city is great to see. And I think it's in general we see it's like Daniel said, it's more integrated to where we want to do with the smart cities.
Great. And also, of course, the host of the Nordic PropTech Power Hour, and we saw the CEO of Javika, pitch there. We saw the CEO of Newsec actually give his perspective on where the market's at and where it's going, and a few others as well there. Layout, many more come to mind. Teemu, on the Finnish stand, there was a briefing around the Finnish property markets. But this was also your first MIPIM. So share your key insights or maybe your key regrets, if any.
Yeah. It was my first time and quite a quick trip, like only 2 days, through super hectic days and exhausting days. But it was a really good experience to see a lot of new faces, new contacts, also familiar faces, kind of building on old contacts. I think one of the best things was actually the Tuesday after work event with the Nordic PropTechs. A lot of new startups there from the Nordics, also a lot of investors there. I think that's really something to build on next year as well. And then of course our kind of objective is to build collaboration with City of Helsinki. There was City of Helsinki and Finland had their own kind of area they usually have, and also City of Oulu. But next year, hopefully, we can bring some of our members from Finland to join as well, and we can then build collaboration between the Nordic sessions even more.
That's great. That's great. So basically, to sum up, it is a slightly odd enterprise. It is in the south of France, but it is also at the same time a critical mass for basically leaders and decision makers from across the built environment who converge there, in some cases to collect awards for development, but actually at the core of it, really to share, exchange, learn new things. Both inside and out. So if you want to know more about that, reach out to us. But actually, this is just a little preamble to get us to some really exciting news. I'm sitting here in the studio actually with Kajsa Schunesson, who's the person who runs the Nordic PropTech Awards day to day. And actually, we've just concluded this year's run. And I think we should just take a quick flashback to that. We're now going to attempt the very exciting element, which is to see if I can actually manage to share a screen here. So hopefully now people can see the Nordic PropTech Awards 2025 website here. And the key thing is to go in and basically click on the thing, which is meet the winners of 2025. I'll quickly set them out. We have Resites, we have Coherent, Sunday Power, Smart Vatten, Triple, and of course Commu. And also we would be amiss if we didn't remind ourselves that this is a program that's run some years. They were actually also possible to go and look back on the earlier winners from 2024, 2023, and in fact all the way to 2022. It really is a program that's been running for a good while and has a good track record. The other key thing I want to highlight to you is the nominate for 2026. You can get an early dip into the next season, but it really to close out the 2025 season, at least the awarding, it would also be apt and appropriate to really say that this wouldn't have been possible without an amazing jury of people from across the Nordics, experts from the built environment, from real estate, basically coming in through PropTech Finland, PropTech Norway, PropTech Sweden, and indeed PropTech Denmark. And of course, our amazing sponsors. Velux has been at it for a number of years. Tulanda is new to the game. Core is actually in part the founding sponsor of this, and then a new addition, a latecomer from Finland, who we hope to have for many years to come, Granlund. So quick thank you to all of those. Now, without further ado, let's go. And actually, I'm getting a little editorial note here in my ear. We shouldn't leave out the fact that EIT Mobility, of course, an EU-funded project from the EIT universe, has also been part of specifically the mobility track, where we see basically the convergence between the built environment and mobility with increased electrification of buildings and the spaces both outside and below them. But let's go around the Nordics. I'm sure that Teemu, Roger, and Daniel will add any comments in of elements I missed out from this big brief intro. And we're going to start actually in Sweden with a quick update from Roger of what's happening in Sweden and what's next.
Thank you, Michael. Just give me a quick share on my screen. You can see that now. Perfect. So one of the things we saw from the Sweden and from the Nordics is that on all these events around the world, we need to bring the Nordics together. So what we did was we took in an advisory board, international advisory board from PropTech Sweden, with 3 people who we think can help the Nordics and Sweden. So we take Sander from Metaprop. He's joining us. Magnus Vantegold, who is also... Thank you for helping out the whole Nordics with this. I mean, he started this quarterly news for a couple of 2 years ago or something like that. So that's great. He has so long experience in the field, and lots of people know him. So he's a great thing on an advisory board. And then we have Nico Greenberg, also in New York, Australia, who have a lot of connection, can help PropTech Sweden, but also the Nordics to prioritize the right events and the right people for us. So we're very grateful for that, and that will help the Nordics when we go to events like MIPIM, PropTech Connect, CRETech in New York, or whatever we're going, we decide. So that's number 1. Number 2 that I can recommend you for reading if you're an international company is we just launched our Stockholm PropTech Industry Report together with Stockholm Business Region. So there are the investor helping out if you want to bring your company to Sweden. They can help you to establish and help you with the right connection. So here you can see little what we've done. You can read this. I will send that in the link. you know what PropTech is, but you can also see the numbers on investment in Sweden. That really is a major 2024, which is super fun. We're moving on. Then I think it's great to see what we did also now with using the Nordic PropTech Awards for our different kind of panels around in Sweden. So if you win Nordic PropTech Awards, we will also try to always host you on the panel. So we invited Alexander from Sunday Power, who's from Norway, to be in a panel in Sweden with the energy, Fastighet Energy 2025. So that's one of the things that we really try to push for the winners to be in front and to actually access to the new market. So this is a great opportunity for Norwegian company to come to Sweden through Nordic PropTech Awards. Next thing is Almedalen. Almedalen is like a pre-MIPIM or mini-MIPIM, should we say. So here's all the boards from all the real estate companies. Here's the prime minister, here's the politicians. So if you really want to put your foot down in Sweden, this is the market you should be at. So this is the 23rd to 27th of June. PropTech Sweden will host 3 days events, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And we will also try to bring some of the international investors to Sweden this day to have a day. So have a look at that. That's a great opportunity to connect. And it's a small island, Visby, outside Stockholm, where we really enjoy the days and hopefully with a lot of sun. And the last thing I want to push is that we hosted something that we called PropTech Championship. So with PropTech Championship, you can win a big contract. We are in the end of finalize the new host for this. So if you are an international company who wants to establish in Sweden, have a look at this. And when we launch the categories, please apply. The winner will win contracts big. We had Clapfirm last year who won a big contract with MKB, 28,000 flats, and they rolled that out on 6 months. So it's a great win, and look out for PropTech Championship together with PropTech Sweden.
Amazing. Thank you, Roger. A lot of exciting stuff going there. Almedalen, of course, I think it's inspiration for Folkemødet in Denmark. And actually, there's a Norwegian and possibly a Finnish equivalent. What's the Norwegian version?
Arendal. It's an
Arendal. Okay, Almedalen, Arendal.
Yeah, Arendal is actually the model of the city in Frost.
Great, fantastic. Well, topical. Actually, let's go to Norway and hear what's new from Norway and what's next.
All right. Well, it's lovely to see you all again. As we did speak about at the terrific award show in Copenhagen, it's just a few weeks ago. It is a little bit mysterious that still too few PropTech companies are scaling across the Nordics, which is why we need more arenas like this one. So good for us. I really like the jingle too. So just a few news items from PropTech Life in Oslo. In spite of general market shittiness, 2024 turned out to be quite a decent year for PropTech. Actually, we had a couple of large exits. We had Series A funding rounds. So we were really hopeful that it would carry on into the first quarter of this year, and then nothing. A few good companies gave up. There were no funding rounds in January. So we were, thinking, okay, so that's it. PropTech is over for now. And then mid-February, things picked up. So just in the past month, according to our own anecdotal database, we've seen early stage investment into PropTech totaling north of 20 million euros, including an unannounced round or two. In the spirit of this Nordic forum, I'll actually highlight some nice co-Nordic investment rounds. Telescope, which was formerly known as AE Solutions, a name that ostensibly did not work very well in Finnish, it's a platform that helps real estate owners assess and manage sustainability and climate risk. They changed their name and they raised around 4 million euros with some solid new Danish and some German investors on board. So good news there. Quist, is also a great company like Telescope. They hail from the NTNU University, the Technical University in Trondheim. What they do is they streamline the very tedious sustainability certification processes for buildings, and they just picked up an early stage round of 15 million NOK with a new Finnish investor on board, Kiel2 Ventures. The company promptly also changed its name to Installer, because they help people install things in their homes, and they picked up about 4 million euros in a round led by a Luxembourg investor, Bright Eye, with German PT1 also following on their only Norwegian investment so far. And we're also happy to see that our campaign against using the word prop in company names is having an effect. But the great climax actually of the quarter so far is the company Novo Render, who exited to the American company Procore for around $50 million. It's a really, really great company. They were PropTech Norway Startup of the Year in 2024, and what they do is they basically render BIM-based 3D models in construction projects at incredible speeds. And you mentioned Sunday Power. Our shout outs also to Sunday Power, who basically swept award season. They had honors at Nordic PropTech Awards, and they also won the Global ESG Awards at MIPIM. They were recently in Sweden. They get around. I assume we're going to see them in Copenhagen for the symposium too, Michael. And lastly, what we're talking about is, of course, Oslo PropTech Summit. It's on October 22nd. The PropTech Summit is during Oslo Innovation Week, which is, it's our slush, it's our tech barbecue. We're scaling the summit this year as our contribution to building more Nordic arenas. So to do this, we're joining forces with Construction City, which is a new 100,000 square meter office complex for the real estate and construction industry in Oslo. And we want all of you to come. And this year we have room for you. So see you there. And that's how the cookie crumbles in Oslo.
Excellent. That's how the cookie crumbles in Oslo. An amazing city, by the way, that time of year. Highly recommended. And some amazing espresso spots if you're into that kind of thing. But of course, you can also go and see Monk. Timo, let's go to Finland and hear all the latest from PropTech Finland.
Yes, greetings from Finnish side. So our community is growing. We're getting more members to the PropTech Finland community. Not just startups and scale-ups, but also corporations like Kone or Granlund, who was sponsoring the NBAs this year. Of course, happy to see also success from Finnish companies at the Nordic PropTech Awards this year. Out of 6 winners, actually 3 came from Finland, so really happy about that. We've started to roadmap for rest of the year with our members regarding market access and global expansion activities, innovation and pilot opportunities, and networking and ecosystem support. So there's a lot of actions going on. We'll also have an objective for the next 2 years. So by the end of next year, we are looking at having 10 new scale-ups, like true scale-ups reaching the 3 million euro annual recurring revenue level. So we really want to see growth in our ecosystem in the coming years. One of the initiatives that is supporting that is Smart Business Big Impact that we started early this year. So there we want to connect large corporations, large cities and municipalities to actually buy from startups so that we can help them to grow locally and then have an opportunity to scale abroad after that. Of course, the biggest thing for us is the Recotech coming during the Slash Week in November. And this is going to be a quite significant year for Recotech for 2 reasons. First of all, it's going to be 10-year kind of anniversary for Recotech, but also we actually haven't made it public yet, but we are combining WDBE event, so World of Digital Built Environment, and Recotech this year to a new event concept that will be something truly special. So through that QR code, you can actually already pre-register to the event, and hope to see many of you there here in Helsinki in November. That's
Excellent.
all the Finnish side, and looking forward to have all of you here for Recotech.
Great. And Recotech is just alongside Slush, of course. There's an opportunity to potentially do both. One is very much in-depth, and one is much more broad and general. But basically, Helsinki is definitely alive during those days. So if you're planning to travel there, do think ahead. You might need to book your accommodation sooner rather than later. All right, we've basically been throughout the Nordics now. Why don't we turn a quick look actually back to Denmark here before we start wrapping up. If you just tuned in, this is the Nordic Quarterly, which is basically a 30-minute quick briefing of what's happening in each of the associations in the Nordics, with a quick look back. Like today, we talked about MIPIM and the Nordic PropTech Awards, and then also looking ahead. And with that, let's look a little bit to Denmark. What's happening here, and what are we excited about? Well, I think it would be a miss if we didn't basically share the fact that the Danish PropTech Report 2025, which is a long-running report, but for the first time ever is now available in Danish, which I know will be particularly exciting to our Nordic neighbors, because of course you would prefer that version rather than the English one. Joking aside, basically if you go and check it out, you'll find a couple of key headlines. Digitization appears unstoppable. Effective execution remains a challenge. We dig into the data in that. We also see that green transition is a priority, yet digital strategies lag behind, and we have a discussion around some of the things that you might be able to do around that. And also we're seeing, as you kind of hearing as well from others around the Nordics, that the demand is surging, but there are some adoption barriers remaining. And actually, I'm particularly inspired by the Finnish initiative around basically making it easier to procure basic solutions. Now, that's available for you to digest. I'm sure we'll what's it called? Talk a lot more about that in the days and weeks to come. The key thing, though, is in the side of my screen, at least now, there's a link from Kaiser, basically sharing the link to the report, and it's also an opportune moment to give a shout out. I actually hold one of the few physical copies in the whole world in my hands here, and actually, if you turn to the back pages, what you'll find there are hundreds of people who've contributed to it. So thank you to all of you who have been part of this, including, of course, actually on this call, Timo gave some really helpful input. And it would also be important to say that actually most of, or if not all, hard work in creating this report is down to Stine and Laura and our team, and Matilda and Ella. It really has been a team effort. We now, I also see, what's it called, Roger, that you shared some links, which is helpful, but you might have shared them just with us. You need to share them with the whole team there. And I can see we have a few other people introducing themselves in the comments. Please feel free to do that. We would love to hear where you are tuning in from. So please do share where you are connecting in. With the time available, though, I want to talk about a couple of other quick things. With the magic of technology, I want to take a quick look ahead to Symposium. And here it is the 19th of May, Langeline Pavilion in Copenhagen, just a stone's throw or a short canter from The Little Mermaid, who is exactly as little as the description sets out. The topic this year, or the agenda basically, is to explore uncertainty, and we will have a range of really interesting speakers on stage. including a global expert on ethical use of AI. Gaia Marcus from the Ada Lovelace Institute will come across from London. We'll actually also have Anthony Slumbers back talking about AI and prompting. And then we'll have a range of panels and lightning bolts and lightning talks. And the most interesting thing this year is that we're setting up a little bit of a contrast, because actually we've challenged one of the partners in crime, so to speak, which is Core, to basically compete with the stage show and actually help model this historic, beautiful location in a new and innovative way to basically see what will fare the best. The networking element or the stage element. We're definitely up for the I think in the MTV era it was called the death match. These days I think it's just maybe a pillow fight, but still we will take that on. But the 19th of May in Copenhagen. The other quick thing I want to highlight, again with the time available, is the fact that we also are very excited to support Urban Tech, or the Urban Tech program at Tech Barbecue. Urban Tech not to be mixed up with the accelerator of past that I may have been involved with. But the key thing is that you can already now basically sign up as an Urban Tech investor and also pre-register as a Nordic startup for this coming up in August this year. And as usual, we will do our investor startup bike ride, and as well as a number of other things at this super interesting collection of critical mass in Copenhagen. So those are the key updates from Copenhagen. I think inspired by Daniel, I'll maybe also mention a brief list of rounds. Quite excited to see that Gizmap has secured a round recently with a range of angels involved, and also PropTech Finland, if I'm not mistaken. Resight, actually a Nordic PropTech award winner, has recently taken in additional investment, and also Ejendom.com has become of what's called the Kring family. So basically, kind of quasi-family office, quite interesting setup that they have, and there's lots more to come around that. And also two long-standing Danish members, Ento and Rivalu, are basically part of a COVI program, which, if I'm not mistaken, is run by the large Silicon Valley-based venture organization called Plug and Play, which incidentally sits in the PropTech Denmark investor corner at Blocks Hub in Copenhagen. But those are the quick roundups from the Nordics. With the last few minutes available, let's see if we could just quickly go around and just quickly get the key dates for the diary, because I'm sure people have got their fountain pen perhaps, or their Blocks Up pen, or whatever it might be, out to note them down and make their plan for the year. So Roger, just give us the dates again for when can we meet Roger in Sweden in the next quarter and quarters ahead.
Yeah, so Almedalen 24th to 26th. It's little like a slush and Primipim. You need to book before, or you're gonna have living in a tent, and it's a small island, so you can't run away. So think about that. But also, I want to just give you a little heads up. It's PropTech Connect also in September. So because I'm half based in London and half based in Sweden, we will arrange that week. We will have a PropTech Nordic week. So we will fix something on the bus, Monopoly bus. We will have the Swedish Chamber of UK. We'll arrange a PropTech day and so on. So if you're interested in UK market, like Daniel said, please reach out to me and I can help out there also. So June and in London.
June in London, small island, big island. Excellent. Thank you, Roger. Going on to Daniel, the key dates, Oslo PropTech Summit.
October 22nd. So also Innovation Week is that entire week. So why don't you make it a good trip? Also, if you happen to be in Oslo on April 23rd, we have our famous Easter breakfast that day. So please reach out and I'll get you an invite. It's all booked up, but we can see what we can do. And also, if you happen to be in Norway in August, we have our Almedalen in Arendal, which is a lot of fun.
Great. And Timo, the key dates for Finland?
Yes, so the whole slush week will be November 17th until 21st. Of course, the slash main days will be 20th and 21st, and then PropTech before that main day on 19th. Or actually, no, I missed. 18th is the main day for PropTech, and slash is 19th and 20th. We may have something extra planned for 17th for Monday as well, but please keep posted for kind of future editions at the website.
Fantastic. All right. Well, this has been the Nordic quarterly news. I'll quickly mention the dates for Denmark. The key one for us up front is the 19th of May, Langelinje Pavilion, the PropTech Symposium, where we'll be digging into uncertainty. And then we have, Tech Barbecue and many other things coming up later in the year. The key thing is if you go to our events calendar, we hide them all there in plain sight. We hope to see you here, there, or indeed everywhere. Thank you to Teemu, thank you to Roger, and thank you to Daniel, and also the production team behind the scenes here. This has been a fantastic opportunity to check in to what all that is going on. And we'll be back in a quarter's time, and in a quarter's time, and in a quarter's time. And each time we'll spend about 30 minutes basically updating you. If you have constructive feedback, reach out to us. We are keen to hear of your experience today, and hope to see you all out in the field or in the office. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.